What's up, guys? And today in this video we're going to be going over if you can use the first iPad mini in 2020/2021 because the year's almost over. So the iPad mini 1, let's go over the design first. The design of the iPad mini 1, it's pretty standard. Remember that iPad 2 video I did? The iPad mini is a lot thinner. As you can see, the bezels are a lot thinner as well. The device is really light, coming in at about 0.7 pounds. The display is pretty not bad. It is a 1024 by 768 panel, and as you can see, it's running iOS 9. It's a 7.9-inch display, so it is definitely smaller than the iPad 2, 3, and even the iPad Air. Camera's not the best, but it's not bad for 2012. Honestly, it takes okay photos. I'm gonna take some pictures and I'm gonna show you on screen what they look like. Here are some photos taken by the iPad mini. Now you probably have gotten a perspective on what the iPad mini's camera looks like. It's not the best camera in the world, but it could be worse. We could be dealing with an original iPad with no camera. Let's go over battery life. Battery life, as you can see, iPad's currently at 100%. I'd say the battery life is not as good as the iPad 2 and iPad 3 and iPad Air, and that's because we're rocking a 4,460 milliamp hour battery. Yeah, battery life gets you about 10 to 20 hours, I'd say, on a charge. Pretty decent for an iPad, but nothing amazing. As I said, this iPad runs iOS 9, and I'll show you the exact version to be exact. Yep, so it's running iOS 9.3.5, which is its latest version of iOS 9. Pretty slow because it's an A5 chipset. I talked about this in my iPad 2 video. Basically, any device with an A5 chipset, such as the iPhone 4, the iPad mini, just like this, the iPad 2 and 3, and I think this is the iPod Touch 4th Gen 2. Those devices are so slow because of iOS 9. They just can't handle it. The reason why they are so slow is because Apple technically thought they were compatible, because Apple figured that this iPad has a dual-core processor, so they're like, it's technically compatible, so let's just support it. And that's pretty good compared to Samsung, because Samsung with the Galaxy S8, I think it is, it's a 2-year-old phone, and it's already obsolete by Samsung. In Apple, you get like a lot of years. Like, take for example, the iPad Air 2 is a good example. It came out in 2014, it's still getting updates by 2020. And also the iPad 2, which I just did a video on the other day, that one, an iPad came out in March of 2011, and it got all the way up to late 2016. There is a way to downgrade, but I've done it before. It downgrades it to iOS 8. It's a really, really, really long process, and I really don't want to go through it, but right now it's on iOS 9. Stock version of iOS 9, that is. And the home button, it's just a standard home button. Again, no Touch ID, you type in your passcode. I'm going to show you how to set up a passcode in case you would want to. I think you already know, but I'm just going to show you anyway. So you go to settings, and you go to passcode, and you turn passcode on, and then you enter in a password. Let's just do 5555. And then if it's a simple code, it'll say, do you want to use it? And then you just say yes. And this is a 4-digit code, of course, so now when we lock the device and we turn it on, it's going to ask for a passcode. We swipe, you type in the passcode, and then it turns on. So it's just like that. So that's how you do a passcode. And I've noticed, comparing the iPad mini on iOS 9 and like iOS 8 and 7, the animations are so slow. Like, if we open up settings, you see how long the animation took, and we press home. Man, I pressed home and it took like 2 seconds. That could have been the speed of the iPad mini, but I'm not sure. The iPad mini came equipped with, I think it was a gig of RAM. I think it's a gig of RAM. Or no, it has iPad 2 specs, so it's half a gig of RAM or 512 megabytes of RAM. It's slow, okay? That's all I have to say. It is slow, okay? The iPad mini is slow, there's no doubt about it. FaceTime calls is still working, even in 2020. If we load up FaceTime here, you can see my beautiful face and my beautiful iPhone SE2. Every app is working. I could probably do a speed test of this device. Ooh, that was a little bit slow. But this is Apple Maps here. The story of Apple Maps in the iOS 6 days, it was terrible. No one liked it. That was when Apple Maps was new. So yeah, I really don't know what to do with this device. This is my old iPad. Yes, I used an iPad Mini 1 all the way from late 2015 to late 2018. You heard me. I used this iPad for 3 years, and it served me really well for 3 years. So this iPad, I've had this iPad for 5 years now, just about. And this is it here. So, I don't know what else to say about it, really. It's a standard iPad. Is it usable in 2020, though? App compatibility. Let's try to download something like GarageBand. That's a very standard app. It's even put out there by Apple. GarageBand is not compatible with this iPad, just as I thought. Now, if you want to make this compatible and actually let it download, then you're going to have to jailbreak it, which I have done in the past. As I said, it's a long process, and it's really not worth it. Is it usable? Maybe if you have some apps preloaded onto it, but if it's a stock version of iOS 9, you're going to have a really hard time finding apps for it, because it's an old iOS version. Should you use it in 2020? No, because you have the option to go out and buy an iPad Mini. Do I think the iPad Mini will get discontinued in 2020? The iPad Mini 5, since the reason why this guy came out in the first place was because the iPhones of the day back in like 2012, the iPhone 5 was 4 inches, was really small. Now we're looking at the iPhone 11 Pro Max. The iPhone 12 Pro Max now. That guy's a monster. It's 6.5 inches, about the same screen size as this iPad Mini. Isn't that insane? So I think iPad Minis will get discontinued sometime in the future, kind of like how the regular MacBook got discontinued in place for the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. Yeah, so that's about it. So smash a like, subscribe. See you guys later. Goodbye. This is not worth it in 2020. I'm sorry, but the iPad Mini is not worth it in 2020. Peace out, guys.